Hello fans! Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive deep into the dramatic twists and turns awaiting fans in the upcoming episode airing on Tuesday, July 8, 2025. Brace yourselves for an emotional roller coaster as secrets unravel, tempers flare, and shocking discoveries come to light in the heart of Port Charles. From mob wars to personal betrayals, this episode promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats with intense confrontations and unexpected alliances. Let's explore the brewing storm that's about to hit our beloved characters, with fresh details and intricate layers added to each unfolding storyline. First, let's turn our attention to the escalating mob conflict that's gripping the town like a vice. Jen Sidwell, a notorious figure in the underworld, finds himself under the piercing scrutiny of Police Commissioner Anna Devane. The tension is palpable as Anna probes Sidwell about his involvement in recent violent incidents that have shaken the community. In a heated exchange, Sidwell, with a sneer curling his lips, deflects responsibility with venomous accusations, pointing fingers at his arch-rival, Sonny Corinthos. Their bitter feud has already claimed innocent lives, with the tragic loss of Natalia Ramirez still haunting many, and a devastating fire that nearly consumed Christina Corinthos Davis, leaving her family reeling. Sidwell's refusal to cooperate only fuels Anna's determination to unearth the truth behind the chaos. Meanwhile, whispers in the streets suggest that Sidwell might be planning a sinister countermove, possibly involving a hidden ally within Port Charles, which could further complicate Anna's investigation. The stakes couldn't be higher as the fallout of this mob war threatens to engulf even more bystanders in its destructive path. Elsewhere, Sonny Corinthos is strategizing to mitigate the mounting damage caused by this ongoing turf battle. In a clandestine meeting with Mayor Laura Collins at her office, the mob boss exudes a rare air of vulnerability as he proposes a potential solution to curb the violence. "I think I've got a way to lock this down," Sonny murmurs in a preview snippet, his voice laced with urgency. The specifics of his plan remain under wraps, but sources hint that it might involve striking a risky deal with an unexpected player in town, a move that could either save lives or backfire spectacularly. Laura, known for her fierce dedication to the city's safety, listens intently, though her furrowed brow betrays her skepticism about aligning with Sonny's methods. Their conversation is set to be a pivotal moment, potentially reshaping the power dynamics in Port Charles as both grapple with the ethical dilemmas of their decisions. Will this alliance, if formed, bring peace, or will it ignite an even deadlier chapter in this saga? On a more personal note, the emotional undercurrents run deep as young Rocco Falconeri confronts his mother, Lulu Spencer, over a deeply sensitive matter. The teenager, grappling with confusion and hurt, demands answers about the surrogacy arrangement involving the late Britt Westburn. This heart-wrenching scene is likely to unfold through poignant flashbacks, offering viewers a glimpse into the complex history that shaped Rocco's world. His raw emotion catches Lulu off guard, stirring a storm of guilt and frustration within her. Unable to contain her anger, Lulu soon redirects her ire toward Brooklyn Quartermain BLQ, suspecting her of stirring the pot by leaking delicate information. The confrontation at the Quartermain mansion is expected to be explosive, with Lulu's accusations cutting deep. However, BLQ, ever the composed figure, might counter with a calm denial, insisting she played no part in the revelation. Behind closed doors, though, BLQ confides in Cody Bell, admitting that one of them needs to rise above the petty feud with Lulu for the sake of family harmony. Could this be the moment BLQ takes a surprising step toward reconciliation, or will Lulu's relentless pursuit of the truth drive an even deeper wedge between them? Adding another layer of intrigue, there's a heartbreaking subplot involving Marco Rios, who is still mourning the untimely death of his mother, Natalia. Overwhelmed by grief, Marco's usual sharpness is dulled, making him vulnerable to Lulu's prying questions. Rumors are circulating that Lulu might exploit this moment of weakness to extract information about how the surrogacy story surfaced. Marco, caught between loyalty to his loved ones and his emotional turmoil, may unintentionally let slip a crucial detail that could alter the course of several relationships in Port Charles. This delicate interaction at a quiet cafe near the pier is poised to be a turning point, revealing just how far Lulu is willing to go to protect her family's narrative and at what cost to others who are already suffering. Meanwhile, Sasha Gilmore Corbin faces a chilling ordeal that will leave fans reeling. In a shocking twist, Sasha stumbles upon a horrifying discovery that threatens to upend her fragile sense of security. While specifics remain shrouded in mystery, speculation abounds that this could tie into someone manipulating events surrounding her child, Daisy Gilmore Corbin. Perhaps she uncovers evidence of tampering in Daisy's nursery, a sinister note tucked beneath a crib, or a stranger's footprint near the window. The paranoia grips Sasha as she questions who in her inner circle could harbor such malice. Surprisingly, Cody Bell, usually quick to jump into protective mode, hasn't yet offered to investigate the eerie circumstances surrounding the baby's environment, leaving Sasha to navigate this terror alone for now. Will she turn to an unexpected confidant for help, or will her discovery push her into a dangerous quest for answers that puts both her and Daisy at greater risk? In another corner of Port Charles, Giovanni Joe Palmieri seeks a fresh outlook amidst the turmoil surrounding him. Feeling lost in the whirlwind of family drama, Joe engages in a soul-searching conversation with Carly Spencer at Kelly's Diner. Carly, with her wealth of experience and no-nonsense attitude, offers Joe some hard-hitting advice that might just shift his perspective on recent events. Their exchange, filled with warmth and tough love, could mark the beginning of a mentorship of sorts, giving Joe the grounding he desperately needs. This subplot adds a softer, more introspective tone to the episode, reminding viewers that amidst the chaos, there's always room for personal growth and connection. Finally, romance takes a bitter turn as Josslyn Jax delivers a devastating blow to Vaughn. In a charged moment at the park, Josslyn, with tears brimming in her eyes, declares that their relationship has reached its end. The reasons behind her decision are yet to be fully revealed, but hints suggest it might stem from Vaughn's inability to prioritize their bond over his own ambitions, or perhaps a betrayal that Josslyn can no longer overlook. The emotional weight of this breakup reverberates through Josslyn's close-knit circle, prompting her friends to rally around her in the aftermath. Could this heartbreak pave the way for Josslyn to rediscover her strength, or will it leave lasting scars that influence her future choices in love? Next, we will delve into the intense aftermath of the devastating Charlie's Pub firebombing from June 30th, which has left the residents of Port Charles reeling with grief, guilt, and simmering tensions. This catastrophic event has ignited personal vendettas and fractured loyalties, setting the stage for explosive confrontations and unexpected alliances. From Marco Rios' haunting remorse to Sonny Corinthos' chilling indifference, the ripples of tragedy are poised to reshape the dynamics of this tight-knit community. Join us as we explore the intricate web of emotions and power struggles that threaten to tear families apart. With fresh perspectives and added layers to each heart-wrenching storyline unfolding in the coming episodes. Let's begin with the heavy burden weighing on Marco Rios, a young man caught in a storm of guilt and loss following the tragic events at Charlie's Pub. Marco heroically pulled Christina Corinthos Davis from the inferno, a selfless act that saved her life but came at an unimaginable cost, arriving too late to prevent his mother, Natalia Ramirez, from taking her own life at the Metrocourt Hotel. The anguish of wondering if he could have saved Natalia had he not stopped for Christina gnaws at Marco's soul, evident in his tear-streaked face as he paces the hospital corridors this week. New reports suggest that Marco has been revisiting the site of the fire late at night, as if searching for answers among the ashes, a poignant ritual that only deepens his torment. His growing resentment towards Sonny Corinthos, whom he holds responsible for pushing Natalia to her breaking point through relentless intimidation, is palpable. Friends close to Marco whisper that he's been overheard muttering about making Sonny pay, hinting at a dark path ahead. Could this grief-stricken young man's pain transform into a thirst for retribution, setting the stage for a personal war against the Corinthos patriarch? Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos' cold-hearted stance on Marco's suffering adds fuel to an already blazing fire. In a hushed conversation with Jason Morgan near the docks, Sonny's words cut like ice: "If Marco is collateral damage, so be it." This ruthless dismissal of Marco's devastating loss reveals a side of Sonny that prioritizes power over empathy, a trait that might cost him dearly as enemies close in. Insiders suggest that Sonny's focus is shifting toward fortifying his territory, possibly underestimating the depth of Marco's pain and the potential threat it poses. There's talk of Sonny beefing up security around his family, perhaps anticipating retaliation, but his apparent disregard for the human toll of his actions could alienate even his closest allies. If Marco's fury drives him to seek just sheer vengeance, will Sonny's callousness be the catalyst for an all-out conflict? The tension between these two figures is a ticking time bomb, and the streets of Port Charles might soon become a battleground if cooler heads don't prevail. The specter of Jen Sidwell, Marco's estranged father and a dangerous player in the underworld, looms large over this brewing storm. If Marco, consumed by grief and anger, turns to Sidwell for support, a sinister alliance could form, one aimed squarely at dismantling Sonny's empire. Rumors swirl that Sidwell might have had a hand in the Charlie's Pub firebombing and the earlier penthouse blaze that nearly claimed the lives of Christina and Michael Corinthos. Should evidence of Sidwell's involvement surface perhaps through a clandestine recording or a witness coming forward, it could push Marco into his father's orbit, uniting them in a shared mission of revenge. A chilling scenario unfolds at a shadowy warehouse where father and son might plot their next move, with Sidwell's influence darkening Marco's already wounded heart. The question remains, will Marco succumb to the lure of vengeance under Sidwell's guidance, or will he find a way to honor his mother's memory without descending into darkness? The potential partnership between Marco and Sidwell could shift the balance of power in Port Charles, creating a formidable foe for Sonny to contend with. On the other side of this volatile equation, the Corinthos family grapples with its own internal divisions and potential alliances. If Sidwell's role in the destructive fires is confirmed, Michael Corinthos might set aside past grievances to stand shoulder to shoulder with his father, Sonny, in defense of their empire. Their shared determination to protect Amelia and Wiley Corinthos from further harm could forge a renewed father-son bond, one strengthened by a common enemy. Sources hint at a late-night strategy session at the Corinthos compound, where Michael and Sonny map out a plan to neutralize Sidwell's threat, possibly enlisting the help of Carly Spencer, whose fierce maternal instincts and street smarts could prove invaluable. Carly's involvement might bring a grounded perspective to their campaign, urging caution even as tempers flare. Yet, the unity of this trio hangs by a thread, as other family loyalties are tested in ways that could splinter their resolve. Will this temporary alliance hold under the weight of old wounds, or will external pressures reveal cracks in the Corinthos foundation? Caught in the crossfire of these clashing loyalties is Christina Corinthos Davis, whose heart is pulled in multiple directions. Having been saved by Marco from the blaze at Charlie's, Christina feels a profound debt of gratitude toward him, a bond deepened by her recent reconciliation with Natalia before the tragic loss. At the same time, her unresolved feelings for Allison Blaze Rogers add another layer of emotional complexity, as she wrestles with where her true allegiances lie. In a tender moment filmed at the park, Christina is seen gazing at a photo of herself with Natalia, her expression a mix of sorrow and confusion, hinting at the inner turmoil that might sway her decisions. If Michael and Sonny unite against Sidwell and by extension, Christina could find herself torn between supporting her family and standing by the man who risked everything to save her. Her divided heart threatens to fracture the Corinthos clan further, especially if she confides in Blaze, who might encourage her to follow her instincts over family duty. Can Christina navigate this emotional minefield without alienating those she loves most? Or will her indecision become the wedge that drives the family apart? Adding to the chaos, Alexis Davis finds herself unwittingly positioned as a mediator in this escalating conflict. As Christina's mother and a respected figure in Port Charles, Alexis is likely to feel the strain of her daughter's divided loyalties while also grappling with her own history with Sonny. A leaked scene shows Alexis at her law office, poring over case files related to the fires, possibly seeking legal avenues to bring the true culprits to justice before more blood is spilled. Her concern for Christina's well-being might push her to reach out to Marco, offering a compassionate ear in hopes of diffusing his anger towards Sonny. Yet, Alexis' involvement could complicate matters further if her actions are perceived as taking sides. Will her efforts to broker peace prevent a full-scale war, or will they inadvertently stoke the flames of resentment between the opposing factions? Next, we will explore the heart-wrenching aftermath of Natalia Ramirez's tragic suicide at the Metrocourt Hotel, an event that has sent shockwaves through Port Charles and left fans grappling with intense emotions. This devastating loss, compounded by the chaotic fallout of the Charlie's Pub fire, has plunged Marco Rios into a vortex of grief and self-blame, while stirring whispers of a possible return for Allison Blaze Rogers. As personal traumas intertwine with unresolved romances and brewing conflicts, the stage is set for dramatic reunions, lingering heartaches, and shifting alliances. Join us as we delve into the intricate layers of this unfolding story. with fresh details and compelling twists added to each emotional thread that promises to captivate viewers in the upcoming episodes. Let's start with the soul-crushing impact of Natalia Ramirez's death, a tragedy that unfolded in the wake of her public unraveling at Daisy Corinthos Gilmore's christening. Her drunken outburst during the ceremony, witnessed by many of Port Charles' elite, marked the beginning of a downward spiral that ended in her fatal decision at the Metrocourt Hotel. This loss has shattered her son, Marco Rios, who is now consumed by guilt for choosing to rescue Cristina Corinthos Davis from the blazing inferno at Charlie's Puba fire, possibly orchestrated by his own father, Jens Sidwell, instead of rushing to his mother's side. Sources close to Marco reveal that he's been spending long, solitary hours at the hotel's rooftop, gazing at the spot where Natalia spent her final moments. Haunted by the what-ifs that torment his every thought, the weight of his decision, compounded by the realization that he might have prevented her fate, has left Marco a shell of himself, with friends noting his distant demeanor and tearful outbursts at unexpected moments. Could this profound sorrow push Marco toward desperate actions, or will it draw someone from his past back into his life to offer solace? Amidst Marco's anguish, a significant question looms over Port Charles. Will Natalia's death serve as the catalyst for Allison Blaze Rogers' return to town? Blaze, a rising pop star, has been absent since her abrupt departure following Cristina's near-fatal fall from a Metrocourt hotel window in 2024, a tragic incident tied to the loss of her baby. Her romance with Cristina fizzled out almost instantly upon her exit, buried under the weight of heartbreak and a grueling tour schedule that kept her on the road. However, whispers suggest that Marco, desperate for support and perhaps seeking to honor his mother's memory, has reached out to Blaze with a heartfelt plea to come back for a memorial service. Insiders hint at a late-night phone call, where Marco's voice cracked with emotion as he described the void left by Natalia, possibly tugging at Blaze's heartstrings. If her management grants her a reprieve from her packed tour dates, perhaps for a brief hiatus in light of this personal loss, Blaze's homecoming could be imminent. A poignant scene at a quiet cemetery, where Blaze might lay flowers on Natalia's grave, could set the tone for her emotional re-entry into Port Charles. But will her return open old wounds, or could it spark a new chapter for those she left behind? Turning to Cristina Corinthos Davis, we find a young woman forever changed by her own cascade of traumas. From the life-altering fall last year to the recent near-death experience in the Charlie's Pub fire. Despite the pain of her breakup with Blaze, Cristina still harbors a flickering flame for the pop star, a longing that has only intensified amidst her latest brush with mortality. Natalia's death, intricately linked to Marco's heroic act of saving her, binds Cristina to this tragedy in ways that reignite memories of her connection with Blaze. A leaked preview shows Cristina clutching a worn-out concert ticket from one of Blaze's shows, a keepsake she's held onto as a symbol of happier times, hinting at the depth of her unresolved feelings. Should Blaze return for the memorial, their reunion perhaps in the soft glow of a candlelit vigil for Natalia could stir dormant emotions, offering a chance for shared grief to mend broken bridges. Yet, the road to reconciliation is fraught with obstacles, as Cristina's current entanglement in Ava Jerem's web of blackmail casts a shadow over her ability to fully open her heart. Will their mutual pain draw them closer, or will external forces keep their love story a bittersweet memory? Adding complexity to this emotional tapestry is Marco's deep-seated resentment towards Sonny Corinthos, whom he blames for exacerbating his mother's spiral by abandoning her at a critical juncture. Sonny's sudden withdrawal of support, just as Natalia believed they were on the cusp of a meaningful relationship, left her isolated and vulnerable, a betrayal that Marco cannot forgive. Reports suggest Marco has been digging into Sonny's past dealings with Natalia, uncovering old letters or voicemails that reveal the extent of Sonny's dismissive attitude, further stoking his anger. This brewing animosity could intersect with Blaze's potential return, especially if Marco confides in her about his quest for accountability. A tense moment at a local diner, where Marco might pour out his frustrations to Blaze over a cup of cold coffee, could complicate her perspective on the Corinthos family, potentially influencing her stance with Cristina. Moreover, if Jens Sidwell, Marco's father and a shadowy figure with a vendetta against Sonny, inserts himself into this dynamic, perhaps by offering Marco resources to confront Sonny's situation, could escalate into a dangerous power play. How will Marco's grief-driven vendetta shape the relationships around him? And could it pull Blaze into a conflict she's unprepared to face? The potential homecoming of Blaze also carries broader implications for the shifting dynamics in Port Charles. Fan reactions are a mixed bag, with some taking to social media with enthusiastic cries of Blaze and Christina reunion now, while others caution that grief might shatter them for good. This polarity reflects the uncertainty surrounding whether Blaze's return will fan the flames of a rekindled romance or drown any hope in a sea of sorrow. There's also speculation about a surprise element at Natalia's memorial, a long-lost recording of her singing a lullaby, discovered among her belongings, that Blaze and Christina might hear together, stirring powerful emotions tied to shared memories of Natalia's warmth. Such a moment could serve as a turning point, either binding them in mutual healing or highlighting the chasm their past pain has created. Additionally, Blaze's presence might inadvertently draw attention from Sidwell, who could see her as a means to manipulate Marco further, adding a layer of suspense to her visit. Will her return be a beacon of hope amidst the darkness, or will it become another battleground in the ongoing wars of Port Charles? As we look ahead to these gripping developments, the echoes of Natalia Ramirez's tragic end reverberate through every corner of Port Charles, touching lives in ways both tender and tumultuous. Marco's unrelenting guilt, Christina's lingering yearning for Blaze, and the specter of Sonny's influence weave a complex narrative of loss and longing. Whether Blaze's speculated return ignites a passionate reunion with Christina or falters under the weight of grief and external pressures remains a question that has fans buzzing with anticipation. The possibility of new alliances and old grudges surfacing during this mournful period only heightens the stakes, as each character navigates their path through pain toward uncertain futures. There's even a rumor of a hidden journal Natalia left behind, filled with confessions about her final days, which could surface at the worst possible moment to either unite or divide those mourning her. Stay tuned to ABC General Hospital to witness how these emotional currents unfold, and share your predictions in the comments below. Will Blaze and Christina find their way back to each other, or will the compounded pain of their past and present prove too heavy a burden? We'll keep you updated with more spoilers and insights soon.